Kolento and Neirea are still preparing for the games, so we'll be going with the game shortly. And do we know the bans?
Yeah,
we
I
know the
think
bans. Yeah, there was a ban for Neirea in Warlock, and Kolento got his warrior banned.
really in this specific series.
I think so.
I
saw
didn't catch that.
It just switched to the bracket, but I showed the glimpse of
Alright, gotcha.
that.
Sorry,
Okay.
I had a little problem there with a phone call just coming in at this wrong time, so I didn't actually catch that one. The brackets, warrior band.
Yep.
Warrior Warlock. Well, I mean, I can understand that because it does make a lot of sense considering those two classes are pretty much. Because I didn't watch Kinguin. Were those two just dominating everywhere, or?
Yeah, Warrior was really dominating the game, and Warlock almost always was banned, but still Warrior was really strong. Hunter was pushed to the bottom of the barrel. I think it was like 7 hunters, and they were not polished at all. Firebot played a really fine hunter in my opinion. It was a mix between Undertaker Hunter with Undertaker Hunter with cards like Ragnaros and Daddy Shot, kind of like
Dr. Boom in there, I'd imagine.
No? I think so, I'm not sure, but I think there was one.
I could imagine it being in there.
Yeah,
I think we saw that.
That was the one hunter I felt like it was tweaked properly to that tournament, but the other hunters were like Glaive Zukas all the way, and you know my opinion about Glaive Zuka, right?
Yeah, you don't like the card.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Alright. Oh, Neirea is running Raging Warguns in his deck, so apparently control warrior against. Well, actually, is it control warrior anymore? Gnomish Inventor. I mean, there has to be a defensive Argus in there, right?
Yeah, it's a combo warrior.
Yeah, but combo warrior usually like leans on the control warrior side where they have a lot of removal and they try to combo you in one turn. But at the moment, I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Well, there's 2 dudes.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very exciting game, guys. You're gonna have to be looking at dudes just getting played non-stop. Now, Colento's gonna see the Gnomish Inventor.
And now it'll be Blessing of Kings.
Yeah, likely Blessing of Kings. I mean, Definitive Argus makes no sense whatsoever because you're just losing your 2 dudes and you want to keep them on the board because it puts a lot of pressure on the warrior to remove them.
I think Blessing of Kings is fine. You just paid 6 mana for a 5/5 dude.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's alright, because anyway, he's gonna have to deal with it right away and take damage to the face, so...
Yep.
And so he does. So Warrior takes 5 damage.
What is the next turn for Paladin? Okay, you better play.
Alright, we got the turn. We know what he's gonna play. Now, a well-timed Harrison Jones here would actually put the Sword of Justice out of order. I'm not sure you'd be happy to do it, though, because you'd overdraw, right?
But I'm unsure if there's even a Harrison Jones type of warrior. What would be the...
With loot hoarders and the attempts, he's just trying to cycle through his deck.
Yes, you don't want to keep a card that is dead unless your opponent plays a weapon, right?
Yeah. Well, isn't it really an OTK though?
I think so.
Okay, so double inner rage, charge.
It has to be an OTK because why would you play charge then?
Yeah, sometimes the thing is you need there comes times sometimes where you need a little bit more reach that's already been done on the opponent's face to be able to get the OTK, and that's not always the case. Sometimes you can't get that, let's say 5 to 6 damage already done. You have to get that damage done.
Slam. Yep. Slam will get some work done. Execute the defensive Argus afterwards.
And make sure that he doesn't get more taunts on the way.
And you play the few works, I think. Oh no.
Do you have to develop the weapon yet, though? Because you're going to be comboing a long time from now. There's no hurry yet.
A dude appears. And second...
could play an Aldo Peacekeeper.
I think you play Aldo Peacekeeper because...
He's expecting combo at this point. I think Kolento knows enough about the game to read into what Neirea is trying to do here. Yep. And Kolento will be playing around that, and he knows that Aldor Peacekeeper is essentially going to be a dead card since no minions are going to come out until they're ready to pounce to the face. Alright, so Neirea will be whittling down some of Kolento's HP, which is exactly what he wants to do before dropping the OTK. Most definitely. Want to make sure he's about on 24 health so you can get some of that damage out. How much damage does he have in hand right now? Organ, charge, and a rage, cool task. That's a lot of damage already set up.
Yep, there's an owl, right? Yeah.
Oh, yes, there's the owl and the execute as well, if necessary, with a slam on Tyrion.
And you cycle through the deck, that's really nice. But still the
second inner rage.
The one definitive out is really crucial.
Kolento will be able to set up a little bit of a line of taunts, but the other deaths by Neirea's hand might actually go through that. It couldn't be... it's not impossible, it just manages to put a little bit stop to Neirea's attempt at OTKing. Although he's pretty close now, he's got the first Worgen, he's got the charge, that's 6 mana, double inner rage. He's got a lot of his combo pieces already together. He's got 18 damage in hand.
Kolento's playing double kind of pain. Do you think he uses Pyromancers in this deck? Oh yeah, he has to. What I'm talking about is a Paladin.
Yeah, it's a Paladin with equality. Yeah, it's definitely it's a pretty obvious combination there. So Acolyte of Pain with the AoE. The thing is, a lot of people decide not to run Acolytes of Pain twice in Paladin. It's usually a one-up when you do see it. So that's kind of an interesting choice here for Kolento. Realizes that going face is just as good as trading, really, because everything's going to die anyway.
Double charge, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not going to be... Actually, it gives him just +2 attack at this point without dealing damage to it, right? Whereas the cool Taskmaster would finish off the Worgen. In this case, how much damage is that?
Yeah, we have to count. That's 3, 5, 7, 9, 18 points of damage. And you have time for both charges, so that's 11. That's 22 points of damage. So that's lethal. 22
to the face. He's got lethal next turn, unless Lotheb, you know, that would put a stop to the aggression. But then all he has to do is wait one turn and hope that Kolento does not find a heal nor taunt. He's played 2 defenders of Argus, so really what's left beside the potential Sludge Belcher there?
Now, how much points of damage does Paladin has for the next turn? 5?
Not nearly enough.
5, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15 points of damage, so 3 off lethal.
Not nearly enough to do that.
And...
Alright, so do you go face with Kolento?
No. I don't think so. You need to... I'm not sure. You might be holding off, because if you want to use both charges next turn, you won't be having any mana for a weapon anyway, and maybe you'll have to clear off the taunt?
There is no taunt though. Tyrion's been silenced, Defenders of Argus have been played.
Yeah, well, there still can be... Well, Belcher will pose up a problem anyway.
Yeah, but it's the only card. No, now you've got me stumped. Ooh, okay. So if the board does clump up again, the Brawl will help. Maybe he's running 2 of them and he was hoping to draw into it.
Maybe we miscalculated something. How much?
I don't think we have, because Worgen
charges
plus
4 right?
2 charges. Yeah, 2 charges 2, so you've got 7 baseline and then you double inner rage, that brings it up to 11 plus 1 from its own buff, so that's 24 damage from just the Worgen and 2 charges.
Okay, so it's lethal. Okay, so we miscalculated. I didn't take into account the Worgen and Rage battle cry.
Okay.
I mean, Worgen and Rage, the basic one.
Alright, yeah, it's 24 total. That's exactly what you want to do. That's why he needed the early... As I was saying earlier, the tough part of getting that combo off as a warrior is that you want to make sure the opponent is on 24 or 25. You want to make sure he's just low enough. You have to attack this phase a little bit sometime in the early game. Because if you haven't, then that's just not going to work. Alright, well, it's over.
Well played, Worgen finisher. That's interesting.
Out comes the Worgen from Neirea, going to go directly into Kolento's face for the OTK, the unexpected. Well, I'm pretty sure Kolento expected the burst to come out. Maybe not this early, but all the pieces were assembled. So that'll do it.
There's a 5-piece combo, right? Yeah.
Yep, 5-piece combo right there.
Throwing attack for the Rager.
Wow, the explosions! Kolento shattering into 10,000 pieces. So first game goes to Neirea with OTK Warrior. Now Kolento, if he was surprised by this, will not get surprised a second time with whatever deck he does end up playing here.
So Now he'll pick Shaman, right? Because he plays Nullifiers, and those are pesky.
Nullifiers are pesky little removal minions for the warrior to deal with, definitely. Yeah, I think Kolento's Shaman is going to be a little bit more effective at dealing with this than his other deck, for sure.
Yep.
And that was actually a really quick, he put the combo together very quickly.
Well, when you think about the deck construction, it's just cycle cards
yeah.
put with combo pieces.
But he did draw about only 20, like, at most. So not a single of those was in the bottom 10.
20?
Is what I'm...
Well, okay.
Well, it's only 20 for a combo deck that relies on 5 specific cards to get the damage out.
Well, he would have won without the second charge or second inner rage if he would just hit face with the weapon.
With the weapon, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be no change at all. Like, he would have one less combo piece, but he didn't need it. Also, if he didn't draw the combo pieces earlier, he could have just gone with the Fireworks face to accumulate damage, I think. It would just change the pace of the game.
A little bit, yeah.
If he did draw other less pieces. But I think he would still have won with less pieces.
Alright, so he would have still been able to pull off 20 damage, but the Paladins, like, if he finds Lay on Hands at any point, or finds a Sludge Belcher, like, that would have changed everything. So getting those together really, like, getting them early is just devastating, because you don't expect, like, statistically it's not very likely to get 5 specific combo cards in your hand by card 20.
Yeah.
It's just not the most likely outcome. But that was kind of fortunate, but well played. I mean, it's a really surprising deck. At least it's a surprising outcome for Kolento. I'm not exactly sure if he knew what he was up against, because I don't think we'd seen that deck. Or if we did, it got completely stomped so fast that we didn't see it come out. But Neirea got 3-0'd. He lost against Dog, sorry, so...
But the warrior was banned, if I recall correctly.
You think? Oh yeah, Dog might have banned the warrior, that's right, because actually his Miracle Rogue wasn't exactly tailored around it. Actually, no, it was tech against it, and I was surprised that he banned it in the first place. Maybe expecting the OTK.
Golden Warrior, so swag.
Alright, there goes the Shaman, as expected. Golden Warrior. Somebody's got patience. By the way, anybody in the chat has Golden Paladin, and you've played Controlled Pally, you deserve all the respect in the world. I have nothing but praise for you. Yeah, double Inner Rage already sitting in that Nerea's hand. Is this gonna be another 5-piece combo by turn 20? By 15 cards drawn, that is.
So now... well, as a Shaman...
Do you have to be aggressive here? I mean...
You have the Neptulon, so you might keep calling for that. I think you just Hero Power up turn 2, then Water Elemental turn 3, or just play Golem right now.
Yeah, the drawback of playing the Golem right now is that it actually Death Rattles before the Death's Bite.
That's the Death's Bite will be on... Well, the Death's Bite will be for 2 turns later on, so I think that's an issue.
But you have to expect it to come out. So I'm thinking here he has to drop down a Mana Tide to get as much card draw and force a response. That keeps the Harvest Golem safe from the attack of the weapon for at least one entire turn.
What do you think about playing Pearl Mace? Just go face it, kill.
I think you can afford doing it right now. I think it's fine. The double Harvest
Golem. It won't matter.
The
Pearl Mace won't matter either way because Death Spike will kill it. Also.
Exactly. It's useless right now, but the second Harvest Golem does ensure that Power Mace will be getting some value down the line.
No, he will not play the second Golem, I think. Oh, well, yeah, he didn't, but he rolled the Syrian Totem. Oh, that's unfortunate.
So the only reason not to play Harvest here is because you're worried about Cruel Taskmaster. Because it wouldn't have killed the 1/1 since the Death Rattle from the weapon triggers before.
Might be.
Yeah, he must have been playing around Cruel Taskmaster or the Iron Beak Owl. Although Iron Beak Owl is not really a kind of play you play around for Harvest. You're happy to get it silenced. Alright, so it's going to be a very, very small board here for Kolento after this AoE.
You keep those Inner Rages, right? You need to keep those.
They're crucial for you to land the lethal, and he hasn't done any damage yet to Kolento, having had to use his weapons as removal pieces.
Now this is awkward.
Yeah, I mean, actually, he might be okay with. I don't know. He might be okay with the idea of. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say inner rage, execute maybe once, but you really need to get the 20 plus damage out with the one combo. Otherwise, it's really hard to get reach for lethal because you rely on weapons after that point.
I'm not really experienced with that kind of warrior, so the last time I played an OTK warrior was with giants.
Molten Giants, yeah, back in the beta.
Yeah,
when that thing was actually broken.
Yeah.
Alright, so it turns out the execute is gonna come out of a slam, which is really nice here. Gonna cycle the card and kill something.
Bro is really needed against Shaman.
Yep, he's gonna be the only card that really Neirea doesn't want to see here. I guess Stoneclaw Totem most of the time, but with Brawl, the odds of it living are just that much smaller. Defensive Arc is going to be pretty important here for Kolento.
Lightning Storm not so useful against this type of deck. It kinda sucks, like big time.
Kind of a dead card, yeah. Are you happy to just attack the 2/4 and then drop Neptulon here? Because you can still defend Argus on the following turn.
I think you have to play Neptulon.
Yeah.
You just saw the executing played.
Yeah, it overdraws you though. You're gonna get 3 Murlocs only. You've already got 7 cards in hand.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't think he can do that. So one execute was seen by Kolento, so he's probably not worried about damaging his Drake on that 2/4.
You don't want to waste Defender Argus here.
No.
Maybe you can play second Drake and
Zombie Chow?
No,
probably not.
No.
Never give the health here. He needs to race.
Totem up, I think, first, and then see what's the outcome. If it's a Taunt Totem, then you can easily trade the Drake with the Gnomish Inventor and play the second Drake, I think. If it's a Heal Totem, well, it doesn't change much. You can do the same, but still,
you can do the same
Drake. The Drake will get killed.
Now he starts with the Drake. Wants to see maybe he gets a bolt here. Arcane Nullifier.
That's really important.
Alright, so he's going to go for the long term here. The Brawl will probably have to come out eventually by Neirea.
Oh, wait.
But the game is already over.
Well, I didn't count that, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no long-term plan here we're gonna work with that double Inner Rage Worgen. As I said, he's been drawing them very early. Sure, the game plan might be slightly different depending on how you're gonna play it out, but that was a lethal. Nothing you can do to stop it when they get the pieces within 15 cards. Sometimes it happens. It's really, really unfortunate for Kolento here, getting 2-0'd so far by this warrior from Neirea, and even knowing what his opponent was playing really didn't help at all.
I have to change my approach to the games because I was so focused on the Shaman game here, like what can you do with the overloads, like the turns ahead and stuff like that, and I didn't see that the warrior can actually finish the game right now.
Yeah, there was 20 damage in Neirea's hand right there with a Raging Warrior and double Inner Rage.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to roll the Taunt Totem, but popped out the Zombie Chow and Drake, which meant he had no mana for the defensive Argus, and that was pretty much an auto death. That was kind of unfortunate here for Kolento. Getting 2-0 by this warrior, he must be a little surprised there. I mean, two games in a row, getting the perfect combo pieces very, very early.
You think he will get it 3 times in a row?
I mean, this is the equivalent of a Druid Wild Growth Innervate start. When you get that combo by turn 7, I mean, that's incredible.
The warrior has so much cycle in his deck that he has more chances to actually acquire the whole combo.
But how many chances of getting those? Because you need 1 Worgen, 1 Charge, 2 Inner Rages, or at least 1 Cruel Taskmaster. So the earliest it'll come out is turn 8 most of the time.
When you think about the Worgen, even with just the charge and whatever you can set up on the board, like a Death Sprite, you deal 14 points of damage, and that can be lethal anyway, or just set up for almost lethal with a weapon next to him. So you don't need so many cards. And I mean,
but to reach for such lethal, to reach for the lethal in the immediate sense without having to face that many taunts is really rare. Like, I've played the deck quite a lot, and you do get the combo pieces eventually. You always get them, but getting them by turn 8 is really rare. And the only reason the Paladin didn't die immediately was because he there was a Loatheb in his hand, and when it was dropped, then it pushed back the warrior's aggression in the immediate sense. Right. So it's pretty rare that you get the combo pieces together, but when you do, well, the game is over. There's nothing they can do. Arcane Nullifier would have been a nice to have here in Kolento's hand.
Well, he didn't
instead
draw
of having to Drake it. Yeah, he had it after the Drake, but it was a bit too late. So better
right.
chance next time. Hopefully, hopefully Kolento's next deck can compete with that warrior.
So what's the last deck for Kolento?
This is 2-0 for Neirea right now in the round of 2. So
Yeah, but then what's the last deck for Kolento? Do you remember? Last class?
the class? No, I'm not entirely sure what it was. I saw him play Paladin Warrior and Shaman. He just lost Paladin and Shaman, so his Warrior should be left here, I think.
Yeah, I think.
So Warrior against Combo Warrior, looks like it.
How this pan out? If the Warrior uses Sludge Vultures, this is not doing the... Oh, it's Warlock!
Iron Beak.
Oh, right. Warrior was banned. So...
The Warrior was banned and Warlock came up.
Yeah,
Alright, so fine.
Neirea fought ahead, and he knows that the matchup will be bad for his Warrior against the Warrior, I think.
Gotcha. My phone was ringing when the screen came up, so I had to go. Dark Bomb. Alright, so Warlock against the OTK. The Molten Giants are not going to be coming out there. It's going to be 20-0 in one whiff, so... Alright, so one Sludge Belcher in Kolento's starting hand.
That's important.
Yep.
And one defender value. Well, 2 Town Givers, that's really important, but he lacks... Oh, no, he didn't.
Alright, I was going to say he lacks the Twilight Drakes and Mountain Giants, but he just found one of the ones that he wanted. Unfortunately, well, for him, there's an Execute in Neirea's hand, ready to just slam the board and kill something else with a cool Taskmaster there. So if the game extends for very long, can Kolento life tap enough that he can play Molten Giants? Because Neirea's deck will not be whittling down Kolento's health, one little bit at a time. It tends to just hit you once for a huge amount, and when that happens, then you're dead. So you can't play really Molten Giants with counters. It's pretty rare that you get to.
But the problem with the Warrior that he has not enough removal for the counters. I think so.
Yep. No, most definitely you're right. I like this play from Neirea, just smacking the Drake, deciding I'm not going to be able to execute that later on, so let's just do this right now.
Yeah. What do you think about the Warrior playing 2 rows? Is this the case? Is this the case in this deck?
It's not necessarily the case, but I've seen a lot of those OTK decks running too. The thing is, it's not. I mean, that Whirlwind top deck here from Neirea was actually really good. Going to allow him to board on the following turn. So it's going to be very important.
Yeah, he's putting himself at quite a risk, taking so much damage.
Yeah, but the Warlock is not losing any health, so right now the Warrior doesn't feel that threatened. All right, so Whirlwind here going to be very important for Neirea. Kill the Drake and the defender, the Sunfury Protector, who are behind the lines of the Sludge Belcher.
Do you use Execute on the Belcher? I don't think so.
I think you're going to be worried about Giants sometime down the line, so you can't really afford to. You might be slamming, with the, Fiery War axing this and slamming the Giant later on if you expect to draw
the Execute. He wants to make...
I'm actually a bit surprised by this, but Neirea knows better than me. Like, he's played this deck way too many times. I've seen it in tournaments before from Neirea as well. So, this is not the first time he's brought that.
Anti-Q like this will be...
This will be useless, actually. He'll be dead in one turn.
I just wanted to change my statement in the middle of the sentence. I was like, this will be no.
This will be useless. Oh my goodness. Oh, the Execute from Neirea. The saving grace here. No damage from Kolento's Mountain Giant to Neirea. That is not at all what he wanted to see. And you cannot play Traxxas in this matchup.
The fact that he doesn't have anything to count up is awful.
Wow. Alright, so Neirea's position again, looking pretty strong, getting some armor up with those shield blocks, 29 health. It's as though he hasn't taken a single bit of damage.
So when you play Raging Bogan, you just say to your opponent, oh, I have 2.
Yeah, I have a second one in my hand. I am not too worried about that one. You basically are saying that you don't care. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, and the Inner Rage is getting drawn here. The second Worgen charge Inner Rage is already willing to go here. Close enough.
How much damage is that?
Worgen charge?
5, 6 with Inner Rage, 8 with Inner Rage, so that's 16 points of damage.
Yeah, Kolento's doing a good job of staying out of range of the
that's the Taskmaster still so small. You got
But it would kill it if you double cruel task. It's
no,
going
no,
to
but you go with one, so you got +4, so that's
20.
7,
20,
8,
yeah.
10, yeah, 20, 20, 23.
Yep, he's got a huge amount of burst, but just not enough for the immediate lethal. He'd need to get the second inner rage and get Kolento down a little bit. Kolento will probably be anti-heal botting for less than 8 health, knowing that if he's on 24, it's going to basically be a potential lethal coming from Neirea. He's gonna have to be very, very cautious with his health right now. I'd almost consider recombobulating and just dropping that anti-heal bot recombobulator.
I think you should eat that. You won't be using the anti-kill bot later on, because you will still be, you know, it will
Alright,
still
so
be less than 8. Oh, that's muscle.
Oh, the irony. Alright, so Kolento gets a cruel taskmaster. Hello. Alright.
The second taskmaster is useless at the organs. You can use it on your acolyte pain. Iron Beak now. This will be also important if there will be like just one taunter in the field.
Yeah, I think right now Kolento's actually in a position where Hellfire feels kind of appealing because you can then anti-kill bot back to full.
You're right.
But the recombobulator on the 2-1 owl. Do you think it would have been better spent on the anti-kill bot?
I think so.
Because there are a lot of 5-drops that are much better than 3-3s. I mean, what's the worst you could get? Bomb Blobber or anti-kill bot, pretty much?
Yeah, but you might get a Belcher and you'll be super happy.
Even Fen Creeper is just super useful in this position.
Yeah, Fen Creeper also. Or Abomination.
Alright, so Kolento. Is he going to Siphon Soul this? Because he knows there's no other Siphon Soul target in the entire game at this point. Earthring Farseer with Dark Bomb is a possibility. Hellfire anti-kill bot cannot be used anymore because he's tapped, so he's
I think you want
need
to
9
keep
mana.
your minions on board so you can get the 100 Iris value in the next turn, I think.
Oh, he's gonna need those taunts for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
But the Brawl. The Brawl. Oh, the second inner rage in Nerea's hand right now.
So he can fit more cards into the turn when he combos. So the Taskmaster might be useful now.
You could play the Taskmaster right now to hit the face for 4 and just try to set up the next turn, but you've got to be worried. You haven't seen a single Earthring Farseer and a single anti-kill bot, and you probably expect Handlock at this point of the metagame to be running either of those, if not both.
Yeah. Belcher now. This is really important.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's gonna get hooted by the warrior. But at least he's got a body. You can always redefend with Argus if necessary after you've done this. Oh, apparently he doesn't grab the Belcher, he decides to go and trade with the Gnomish Inventor. Nicely done here. Kolento's got a really nice board. Rampage! Oh no! That is a lot of damage. Raging Worgen, and Rage with Inner Rage twice. That's 8 mana. For about a bazillion damage. It's actually... Now the board is white, regardless, because Shield Slam can take care of just about anything.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what will be the outcome of this.
So if you're Raging Worgen Charge, and double Inner Rage Rampage, that's 10 mana, but that's pretty much game. Is it 30? That's 30 damage in one hit. I believe that's 30 damage in one hit. You got your plus. You've got.
Oh, wait. Vorgen is 4. It's 8. I mean 4. So Inner Rage 6.
It's 26.
Second Rage it's 8.
26 damage. Wow.
But still not lethal. If the Taskmaster will be killed, there is no lethal, and it will get killed, right?
Yeah, it will get killed, definitely, but the Iron Beak Cowl just removes the Belcher as a threat. Oh, the Death Bite.
Oh, Death Bite, okay.
This is going to help reach for that lethal. The anti-heal bot is going to get played, definitely. Kolento will not get caught off guard here. There's no way he doesn't expect what's coming. He has to know. Neirea just decides to wait on the weapon.
Now he needs a second taunter. He didn't get
He's
it.
already
So...
played one defender and one Sun Fury so far, so yes.
Oh, his... Oh, oh man. That's game. OTK. 30 points of damage. Well, almost OTK because the weapon was played last turn.
The last turn,
Wow.
yes, it's not an OTK in the traditional sense or the literal sense, but it's definitely 30-0 in one turn. Using the second weapon that came up, that is absolutely maddening. Holy hell, the amount of damage this Worgen is shelling out. That is incredible. And see, this is more standard of a come out for that control, for that warrior deck, by the way. Very, very standard outcome, and this is game Kolento getting blown to bits by the Worgen. Who let the dogs out, Lothar?
Woof, 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 woof.
Oh my god, that is absolutely 3-0 again.
I'm stunned here.
I don't know what to say.
This is the first time I see the warrior being so consistent with the combo.
He drew the second executor at a really good time there.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was crucial.
It really came on curve. Because he had no more removal, but definitely it's a pretty decent deck. I mean, it is a good deck, by the way. It's just that sometimes you don't get what you need early enough, and against aggro, sometimes it can be really hard, if not impossible.
But what do you think? When do you switch to this kind of warrior from the standard counter warrior? It's like
against a very control-heavy metagame, usually have the time to do that. With your 2 executes and your Iron Beak Owl, owls, sorry, you can generally remove most of their taunts because they'll be running a specific setup to make sure that they still have some defensive potential against, you know, mid-range decks, like Druid, Ramp, for instance. But they won't be expecting the warrior to switch gears and go full-out aggro. So when you have Iron Beaks and executes as a warrior with slams or cycles, you can generally go through and eventually set up a lethal, which is exactly what Neirea did, and that paid off.
Yeah.
3-0 on Kolento
30
there.
points of damage. It's insane. Really.
I mean, he drew most of his deck this time around, though. So this is the kind of outcome that I expect out of that deck. Like once you're near the end of your deck, you're ready to shell out the entire lethal.
Yeah, yeah.
So very well played here.
And very well played by Neirea banning the warrior, because the warrior is the only class in the game that can go above 30 points of health. Or well, right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Very, very easy for warrior to just stack up 40. Well, very easy. Relatively doable to stack with Shield Maiden and Shield Block. Neirea deciding to ban Warrior to make sure that his OTK could actually, you know, win against the rest of the field, and it did. So Kolento's going to get eliminated. Lost to Dog in the winners round, and now losers round 2 to Neirea, eliminated for the tournament. Next up is going to be D2. Short commercial break before we jump into that game. D2 versus Hosty.
D2 versus Hosty.